Are you dealing with a narcissist and you want to know exactly what they hate, what they cannot stand? By the end of this video, you're going to know what they can't stand so that if you want to turn the tables on them, that you're going to be able to do exactly that. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung, top 1% attorney and the best-selling author of the books Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a step-by-step divorce guide. And I've helped thousands of people go from lives of drama, trauma, and chaos. And I do the same thing for you right here in these videos. So make sure you subscribe and you hit that notification bell, and that way you'll get notified when I upload new content and when I go live. So let's talk about what that narcissist hates. I mean, there's a lot that we can't stand about them, right? I mean, their behavior toward people is just so heinous and awful. It's really hard to believe that they can do a lot of the things that they do. I mean, you find yourself wondering, how do they even sleep at night? And if you want to know how they sleep at night, check out my video on how does a narcissist sleep at night, and you'll find out more about that. When you're dealing with a narcissist, you want to know what they can't stand. So let's talk about what's going on with a narcissist so that you can understand what it is that they hate. So narcissists were traumatized at some point in their childhoods. And yes, they became wounded, but no, you can't save them. Please don't try. They cannot be rehabilitated, and nothing you can do, say, be, or whatever will ever fix them. They're beyond repair. Yes, it's sad. Yes, that child was wounded. That child is gone. They are now adults. They are now adults who should be taking responsibility for their behavior. They don't. They are pathological liars. And if you want to know more about how a narcissist behaves when they get caught in a lie, check out my video on what happens when you catch a narcissist in a lie. They just can't deal with the real world the same way we do. They don't see the world the way we do. They don't. The problem that we have as either empathic people or even just normal, reasonable people is that we constantly are trying to think about the why of what they're doing and why are they behaving that way, or what can we do to get them to change or behave differently. And the thing that is was the biggest aha moment for me is understanding that there's nothing that you can do that you're ever going to understand the behavior. There's nothing that you can learn other than learning from videos like this that will just tell you that they're really actually one of the easiest personalities to understand. They're very simple. The only thing that they care about and the only thing that drives them is something called narcissistic supply. And in my Narcissism 101 series, I actually talk about all the basic terminology of narcissism. And I do have a video specifically on narcissistic supply. So you're going to want to check that out. But they're just constantly needing that narcissistic supply. Everything they do is wrapped up in that. And narcissistic supply is anything that feeds a narcissist's ego. So it can be normal things that feed everybody's ego, like, you know, somebody telling them that they look good, or that they're really smart, or that they did a great job on something. I mean, obviously, all people want to feel seen, heard, and know that we matter. So it's kind of like on a continuum, you know, where all humans feel that way, but most humans also have the capacity to be humble, take responsibility for themselves and their mistakes, have compassion and feeling of empathy and love and care for other people. They don't have that ability. So they are just all the way to the pathological end of the spectrum, where clinically they just cannot have any feelings of care, love, compassion, or empathy for other people. So what they hate is going to be all wrapped up in their what's interrupting their supply source. So the number one thing that they hate is boundaries. They hate boundaries because they feel entitled. They feel that you belong to them. Anything that you have belongs to them, that you should never put up boundaries against them. And so they absolutely hate when you do that, but it is absolutely necessary that you are doing that. So if you are doing that, and if you're ready to do that, or you want to do that, give me a boundaries in the comments right now. I want to hear about your boundaries. I want to hear about how you're doing it. I want to hear about how you're going to do it. If you're having trouble putting up boundaries, I want to hear about that in the comments as well. But anyway, that's the number one thing that they hate. In no particular order, by the way. I'm just kind of going through some of these things, but one of the things that they hate is boundaries. The second thing that they hate is not being in control. They spend an inordinate amount of their time trying to be in control. A lot of the things that they do, including even saying I love you, is to try to get control over you. And if you want to know more about what a narcissist really means when they say I love you, check out my video on what does a narcissist mean when they say I love you. But they really want to be in control at all times. And when they start to lose control, that's when you start to see them, when you start to see them losing their grip, they can start acting very crazily, that narcissistic rage can come flying out, that narcissistic injury gets triggered. And that's when you see the Mr. Hyde's side of the Dr. Jekyll personality come flying out, and it's usually not pretty. And I teach negotiation skills, and I teach specifically on how to negotiate with a narcissist and how to create strategy and leverage around dealing with that narcissist. And one of the ways that you are creating that leverage is looking at their forms of supply and how you can interrupt those forms of supply. And so when they start to lose control, I teach people to just be ready for them to start going a little bit nutso, because they're always the worst, by the way, right before they're ready to give up. And the not so secret is that you're actually the stronger one. You're actually the one who is more normal and who's in control and who is stronger. And they know that, by the way. They just don't want you to know that. So number two is they absolutely hate to lose control. Number three is being exposed. They don't want people to see who they really are. They don't want people to know that maybe they're not as smart as they think they are. Maybe they don't want to get caught in lies. They don't want people to see that they've made mistakes. I actually had a narcissistic employee one time who every time, she wasn't showing up for work or she wasn't doing her work that she was supposed to, it was always someone else's fault and some other reason. She could never take responsibility, and because narcissists hate to be exposed. They do not want that to happen. So that's number three. Number four is imperfections, or you pointing out any imperfections on them. They want the world to believe that they are absolutely perfect in every way. So, looks, smarts, their work product, how they are at home, how they are as a husband, wife, mother, father, sister, brother, friend, whatever. They have to be perfect in every single way. And if you just, even the slightest slight will cause them to go crazy. And by the way, narcissists hear slights, and tones in your voice like dogs hear whistles. They just go crazy, even if there's nothing there. Even if you didn't mean anything, there they are getting upset, so they don't want you to point out any imperfections on their part. And the last thing that they hate, I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, but that is themselves. They have a deep, deep sense of self-hatred. Sometimes it's so subconscious that even they don't realize that it's there. Or maybe they do, but they just don't want the world to see it. And they certainly don't want you to see it. They don't want anybody to see it. So, but deep down inside, they really do hate themselves and know you can't fix it and know they can't get better. And yes, it happened in childhood, and yes, they were wounded as children, but you can't fix it now. They are all grown up and they can't get better. Unfortunately, the best thing you can do is start to, as we said in number 1, create those boundaries and go no contact. So if you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, and or anybody, as I said, I teach negotiation skills, and the first place that you can start with some of my free resources is right there at using my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet. Just go to winmynegotiation.com and download it. It'll be all yours, totally free. And it's basically an e-workbook. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't go get it. And do not try to negotiate with a narcissist yourself without any of my resources. You will get eaten alive. They do have an agenda. It is to take you down. And they want to get to you before you get to them. So go ahead and grab that free worksheet right now. And if you like this video, give me a like, give it a share. Drop me a comment. Remember, you're supposed to tell me about how you're doing those boundaries, or just give me the word boundaries if you just want to have them. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and then you'll get notified when I upload brand new content. If you want more support, if you just want to be able to vent, talk to people, ask people questions in a private, safe setting, join me in my free private Facebook group. It's called Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. I'll drop links to all of it and more below. I'm so glad that you stopped by today. Today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'll see you in the next video.